Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Brad&James, the live, fun, interactive conversation about almost anything. Yeah, great to be back in the studio with you guys this week. We took a week off to kind of get ready for our regathering yesterday.
Yeah,
which was it was awesome. I was telling Hagen earlier, it was just wonderful to be back in the building.
Yeah,
I know it is just a building, but man, it was awesome. Worship. They're in place and the music and everything, and it was just really good to be back and see folks. And all
it was, and it was. People kept saying like, "Are you excited?" And I said, "Well, I'm excited and I'm nervous." We told our team like be prepared to make a quick adjustment, but man, I'm telling you, I was blessed yesterday. It's Father's Day, so I'm a blessed man because of my family, and I'm blessed because of the team that I have here at Agape just to help and serve, and just amazing what they did. Everybody did. Our serve team, just every part of it just went so well.
It did. It was kind of unique because we were talking about this. Like it didn't feel like weird in a bad way, but it was. We've been doing online for so many weeks now that I had gotten in a routine of doing my part of filming and coming when I needed to be up here and doing that sort of thing. So I was just telling Hagen, like, it was almost a time that I could see a few folks and hang out and that sort of thing, and now I have to get back into the routine of going to church on Sunday morning. Like it didn't feel, it wasn't a bad weird, but it was kind of just getting back into the routine of things, and man, it felt really good.
I had to kind of get back into because I was telling about like we would record different days. Like the worship team would record on Thursday. I would usually do message on Tuesday. So it's a little different to kind of get back into the flow of Sunday again, at least preaching there.
You got to preach to folks other than just me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure that was. Sure you were glad for that little change.
Definitely a little different. Definitely different. Seeing faces with masks. Yeah. That was way different. But it was just so good to worship together again. It was just great to see everybody. It was just all around. It was just really an amazing experience. So.
You haven't missed a beat.
Well, appreciate it.
It was a great sermon. Great job. You handled everything well. I think everybody did. It was great to sit there and hear you preach. So I enjoyed it, man. We really did.
I enjoyed worship, and they were booming. And then you had it was kind of the new day, kind of our new tech room.
Yeah.
I said, my wife reminded me, I said mistakenly that it was our first time streaming one of our services live, but apparently we did while we were at the Cameron Center the first months of the church. We used a platform called Ustream.
I've heard of Ustream.
And the internet there was not like totally the best, so it were cut out.
Yeah.
But anyway, yesterday was our first time when our new control room and the upgrades that we've made in order to give a quality worship experience live, and so just so proud of our team, so proud of just that part. And then
it went so well.
I'm telling you, the sound was good, and
good.
They did great. So shout out to my buddy Mike Burns out there at Life Church in Reno, Nevada, that helped us design the system, and so Mikey did a great job. And then Dale Smith, for y'all don't know, Dale Smith is the owner-operator at Lee's Coffee and Tea here in downtown Laurel, and Dale will proudly tell you that he serves the best cup of coffee in the state.
There it is. Go get you some.
He's just so. But we love Dale. He's just come in, and he's our barefoot mix master. He comes in and. Dale's shoes are optional. I don't care. If he don't want to wear them, if he keeps doing what he does for us, he can do that. And so he's already said at least I didn't have my pajama pants and and tank top on. So he anyway.
You
however, Dale can show up however he wants to.
You make it sound like you did yesterday. It don't matter.
It don't matter. Hey,
I was like, man, this sounds so good.
He did great, and then of course, Blake Moss that worked so hard to get us up, like with everything else. So anyway, I know people don't necessarily probably that part's not when they're thinking of a podcast, but man, just the people that made it happen. And it's just a quality experience. It was just so good. So.
It was. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. So it's been good. It's been good. Here we are back in the saddle again.
A lot of things going on.
Our city council went and asked us to wear masks for 2 weeks. Made an official statement there. I'm sure some people happy, some people not.
That's
some
with
people
everything.
Welcome to life. Welcome to life. We're seeing posts about there's Facebook pages, secret pages out there about business that
there's like a secret society.
Yeah,
really?
Little, the ones that allow you to wear masks or don't wear masks, and they're gonna boycott them. I mean, just all kind of craziness, but what do you do? What do you do, man? So, but the big point, I think all of it is geared at we need these COVID numbers to go down.
We do.
We need this virus eradicated from our community, from our state.
Yes.
From our nation, from our world.
Yeah.
It needs to go. And so really it's
and to do that, it really takes everybody.
It's going to take everybody. We're going to have to whatever. It's going to take everybody doing their part.
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
And it's great. It's great seeing people do their part. And so I applaud, at least I applaud our city council for taking the stance really for the benefit.
Sure.
There's no exact science with this thing.
No, there is not.
So, but anyway, it's been good that way as well. Like I said, it's just cool. It's cool seeing people at church just thinking of others as well, and there were some that wore masks, some that didn't, whatever. It was fine, and but you could tell like the ones that didn't, they made sure they distanced themselves even further.
That's right.
And so I just loved it. It was great to see community again, at least for us at in our local body of believers. So that was good.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, man. It was good. It was good all around. So anyway, masks. Whoever thought you would say, you and I were talking. Well, first we started with NASCAR and seeing that whole deal and thinking I didn't think I would. I think I'd still have any black hair by the time as far as on my head when I saw that come down with NASCAR and the flag, and then there the movement with our own state. I know that is that is has more momentum.
I just want to say that because if you don't really follow NASCAR heavily, that you may not even know, or you kind of have to be just blinded and whatever to not know what's going on. But in the sports specifically, in speaking of our state, they've really they've made a move, and they've pushed in, and I think that's probably gotten more attention of larger groups of people just because it's like sports in general, and
I think when the SEC came out and with their statement,
and
which
then
was
it was like hello,
that was
because I remember reading it and I was like,
I know.
Showed us. I was like,
but there's and then there's still you had that contingent that's kind of you ain't gonna tell us what to do.
Of course. So was it the SEC and the NCAA now?
I don't
as well.
I didn't read anything. I haven't seen anything from the NCAA. I did see the statement from the SEC. See,
I thought it was both as of today.
Well, I don't know. I'm not seeing it. The one that I did see was from the SEC, and they that was from Commissioner Greg Sankey that did that, and he and then I actually saw him on the Dan Patrick show today, which y'all know is like one of my guilty pleasures is watching the Dan Patrick show and listening to it in the morning.
Dan feels the same way about us.
I hope so. We'll see. But it was a commissioner that was said, that talked about it being past time for a change to be made of the flag of the state of Mississippi. Our students deserve an opportunity to learn and compete in environments that are inclusive and welcoming to all. In the event that there's no change, there will be consideration of precluding SEC conference championship events from being conducted in the state of Mississippi until the flag is changed. And that was by Greg Sankey, this mission, which I was like,
now when was that?
Whoa, I think the commissioner may have put that out on Friday is when I saw it.
I thought, and I could be dead wrong here, comment, we'd love the interaction, that's what this is all about, that NCAA was like, there'll be no postseason play anywhere in the state if action had not been taken with the flag.
Well, I hadn't.
And then you had the running back, what's his name from Mississippi State? Just today, you saw what he said.
No, I'm telling you, listen.
He's like, I ain't playing.
I've been working today.
I'm not playing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I will not play unless something happens with the flag.
Did he really?
I'm out. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Which I assume and will not be surprised others to follow.
Yeah. Well, Mississippi State also put out a comment as well, or put out a statement as well regarding that. And I saw it, and I don't remember it specifically, but I think Mississippi State had even said, they're sorry to see their student athletes, that could potentially have an impact that, short. I'm paraphrasing, but basically it was like that. That could affect, that they may like have to endure something that's out of their control. But they said Mississippi State, we've been proactive, and I need to find the statement just so we're not doing that. I don't want to misquote them, but Mississippi State was basically saying we've been. I thought the statement basically said we've been proactive in seeking out. Regarding this issue regarding the flag, but I just want to make sure.
Well, we've been here before.
Yeah.
Correct me. And was it 2003? I think I read.
Well, that's before me.
I
moved here in 2010.
That's what I was going to say. So that's 2003.
So, yeah.
You moved here in 2010. I think that was the last time that it's kind of been at this forefront, addressed.
Okay.
But, obviously nothing happened. I mean, it's still the same flag since 2003 and beyond. I've seen a couple different things. I've tried to keep up, but, man, I will tell you this. The news is so rapidly changing. I swear. It's like, if it's not this or that.
I'm telling you.
And then I just get tired of it on. I'm like, I don't want to read or look at it anymore. I'm just going to go and do the old bury your head in the sand thing, which you can't. But so I don't know, you probably know more than me, but some propositions about how they're going to go about addressing either changing it, leaving it up to voters, I've seen whatever that deal with two flags, which I think,
my understanding is right now there's debate going on today and tomorrow at the state level to look at several scenarios.
Yeah.
Right now it's legislatively, it's too late to introduce a bill, but there's even talk right now about, do they suspend those rules, introduce it, and do it at the legislative level? Do they put it on the ballot?
That's what I was going to ask. Is that something
So
with that being said, is that something, I know you said legislatively, will that be something that is voted upon, or would they just make like executive decision on it, or?
Yeah, the legislature would have to vote. It would be in the form of if that is the route they choose to go to bring it to a vote, it would be,
but not like a public.
It would be a resolution to do that. That they would, and I imagine it would have to be approved in both parts of our legislature, the House and the Senate. There are people that watch that are way better at it than that are way at watching it than us. But yeah, I mean, the key is just amazing seeing how much momentum that there is. Gulfport, Mississippi, their city council and took it down from all their buildings. There are several. Vicksburg, Mississippi, took the flag down in their area.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, I mean that was kind of like. So
I am. I'll just flat out say it. I am shocked.
Okay. I was like, wait, who?
At that.
But so it seems to have momentum. For so yeah, man. I mean, it's a lot there. It's a lot involved with that, but.
Well, how do you feel on kind of in that same subject area? And this is all, we took last week off, and so we're kind of catching up a little bit here. But In regards to the Mississippi, well, our flag, no one else in the nation, but Mississippi, since we're the only ones that have, aren't we the last state remaining that have some form of Confederate symbol in their state flag?
I'm not sure.
I thought we were. Again, if I'm wrong, hey, we'd love to see you comment.
I'm not sure. But
anyways, but so monuments and statues of such.
Sure.
How do you feel about that? You know, there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, a lot of people just want to yank them down. A lot of people are okay with having monuments and statues moved up to other locations, whether it be on campuses or in front of buildings of such.
Museums,
or putting them in a designated museum type area. What's your take on that?
If you're asking me, like, honestly, I would just be as straight as I can.
Sure. I mean, we're just talking.
To me, the flag is a bigger issue than the monuments as far as I am concerned.
Yeah.
And that is James's opinion. Yeah. So there are people that absolutely, but the monuments are all around our area here in Jones. Some, I know people feel very, very strongly about them. I just have not. To me, I'm like, if I'm prioritizing what I'm looking at, my priority is really on. I believe the flag has to change, and so I'm kind of like, I guess I've looked at priority. I think change comes in phases, and if it came down to it, someone said, well, if you could have one or the other, this is just James. I'm not speaking for all black people. I'm not speaking for all people. I'm saying this is James and us talking. I would be like, man, I wouldn't touch a statue if I knew that the flag could change.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's where I'm at, but that's me.
I thought Mississippi was the last. I told you when we went to California on our honeymoon. Yeah. There was this dude out. We were at Santa Monica at the pier.
Yeah.
And so out there at the beach was the first time I put my feet, tickled my toes into the Pacific Ocean.
After getting on a plane.
After getting on a plane. Yes. Woo.
Yeah.
So this guy was like doing this, I don't know, little symbolic thing where he had each flag of every state in a circle. And like, if you wanted to, you could like put some flower petals down and he had like the American flag in the middle or whatever. And I got to looking around and I was like, there is not a Mississippi flag. And I asked him, he was like, if I were to put that flag in this display, I would have, and this was back 2 years ago, he said the words, I would have a riot on my hands.
Wow.
He said it makes that big of a statement with visitors, with people who live here. Yeah. I mean, I can't do it.
Yeah,
it's fine, dude.
Yeah.
That's what you want. I was just happened to be from Mississippi, and I was looking around. I was like, hey, I don't see that. And
it's significant. I'm telling you, it is significant. There's always been for years the discussion, argument about the economic impact it has on people. I was just talking with that hey, just talked about that has it helped anybody in business having it. But has it harmed? Yes. There's several that will say, hey, it's probably kept some companies, some people from moving here, because of those images. So again, for me, like I really, when it came to it, like I was, my wife and I were having this discussion. I said, I wouldn't even, I said, I have, as far as I'm not taking an opinion or a position regarding this statute. I said, when it came down to it, someone said, you have one or the other. I was like, give me the flag, like, changing that, give me that, 101 times over any statute.
Well, and there's going to be those people, and I understand it.
Yeah.
I remember when Georgia changed their flag from their original one that had, and I think what we're looking at there with the some people call them the Southern Cross or whatever, but it's that.
I've heard stars and bars.
But I think it's actually the North Virginia battle emblem, and because obviously in war times, and I'm not that great of a historian here, but there are lots of battle flags used, whether it be Confederate or Union, and so there was a lot of different. I mean, even down to the colors. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's a dark blue, there's a very light blue, and there's all these different things. And so a lot of people are going to come at me and be like, "Well, that's not even really the Confederate flag," which I understand. It's not. It's
sure.
like I said, I think it's a battle flag of Virginia or North Virginia or something like that.
Yeah.
But if Mississippi if we're the last state in the country, because there are other deep-rooted southern states,
sure,
not just Mississippi,
for sure.
Again, I'm from Georgia, so I have a little tie there. But and we're talking about the flag and monuments thing. I could see where that sounds applicable to me too. Like, it would be better for us in a lot of different economic ways, probably, and stuff like that. We're not the only, and plus it probably just,
I got a comment. It said William Fraser just held it. He said it's based off the St. Andrew's Cross is what where that I guess where it originated over there.
What that is.
But I just was like I said, for me, I just think that's that the Mississippi flag is on patches for everything from law enforcement to firefighters to
National
those
Army,
those are on those. And so to me the statues, but again I've not had to live here and see them and see the monuments. Again, I just think the flag is significant, is a significant battle, definitely. It's interesting though when you think of other countries, and I see where people are on that as well. When they go to other countries, when we were just in Germany, definitely we saw, having you think of the Holocaust and the tremendous impact that it had on the lives of real people. When we've gone there, you go in Germany and there are the swastikas are absolutely outlawed. It's punishable up to 3 years in prison. Mm-hmm. We've gone. I mean, we went in several museums. I think Hagen, we probably went in 3 or 4 that were just where there were displays about the Holocaust, but there's no glorification of it. They own it. They full on it. This is our history. This was a horrible time in our history, but I don't remember seeing any statues or anything like that. We saw the most touching one probably for me was the one where had the children. Remember the one they had the children, and they were 2 sets. They may have been identical. I'm trying to blank on it, but they were on. So it symbolized like some children were put on a train and they went to England to safety, and some children were put on another train and they went to die. And so that was a pretty touching statue. But there's not any of Hitler or any sort of of that regime. So
I mean, you're gonna have those people who kind of feel the same way about the Mississippi, about our flag, or I don't know, because I can just they'd be like, well, we're not. It's just not a representation of everybody or how we all feel. It is our history. I don't like the fact that they're trying to change history, and we've had it for all these years, and there's always that.
I hear you, and here's the thing. I guess for me, I love this format that we have where we can talk, and I'm hoping that people are taking that opportunity to have conversations like this on whatever level with people so they can talk. Here's what I don't like. I don't like clickbait. I don't like when it's like diving on social media and these one-liners, and it's just it just starts like the absolute just bickering when it's not, again, I'm just going to make the most like stereotypical statement there is, but I just do not believe you can have meaningful conversations on these social media platforms.
We talked about this the other day and how social media can be just venom sometimes.
I hate it. And then I hate where both sides, like it's not just one side. Like there's ones that, they get out there and like, they're on there, they make their little statement. Well, how does that advance or move the conversation forward in any way?
Yeah.
And so that's the stuff that just starts to irritate me. And oh man, it's just,
you got to be like, we can talk. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's so good.
Yeah.
Because when I see people yanking down, Confederate statues or vandalizing them, and apparently they only know how to write one word on them or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I get mad about that sort of stuff. And I'm like,
Now, what's the one word they write on?
Well, I'm not sure how many letters is. I think it's like either 4. I'm pretty sure it's like four letters in the word that they tend to write, or graffiti.
After they pull them down,
or just if they're up or whatever, they just want to spray paint. Specific words.
I'm never a fan of graffiti, defacing property, damaging property.
But I get mad at that if it were not just that, other things as well.
Well, it's hard. It's hard though. It's hard to put that on equal ground with some other things, because this, you think of, they will take the Berlin Wall. There were people that looked at bringing that down. It's symbolically, that's different than a statue that, for a person could remind them of, actually an oppressive time in a country they still live in. I'm not endorsing, vandalism of any sort, but it's a little different. A lot different, actually, just in some of those things. I don't know this 4-letter word. That even got me on I'm like, I need to Google it. What's the 4-letter word? I'm like, what 4-letter word? Now you got my brain all messed up. So
really is not.
No, sorry. Okay, I'm claiming it. I'm like, they I've been so I have to keep my quotes. I think we talked about just keeping my balance. I'm not spending a whole lot of time in the news. I have seen where they have been vandalized, and and that was one of those social media conversations that even happened here locally, that I saw where just jabbing at each other, going, hey, this is not the forum, your one-liner that you're gonna put on Facebook, did you whether you're for or against, did it really?
What's it doing?
Yes,
I know. I've done
it's
it.
just word sparring.
Or I've wanted. I've been like, ooh,
and
then I've been like, what in the world?
Yeah. It's just word sparring, and so the whole point is for us to be able to sit down, to talk about these kind of things, hear another perspective, and wherever that's going to come from, and at least get some understanding. Whether we agree or not, but at least I understood. I get why, especially the statues. I guess why I look at the flag more so than statues, is I understand. I have an understanding that some have real pride in the statues. They have real pride in their family members fighting for the Confederacy, and especially when someone has died. Yeah. Fighting for something, that life is not in vain. Right. I don't believe there is any life that is in vain.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's crazy, but when you think about it, you see where, I get where the statues would be a thing for some people, because they consider it as part of not just their history, but it may remind them of great-grand,
a direct line of some sort.
It's hard, and so I understand it. I definitely want to see. I understand why that would be a value. Then we see it defaced or taken down. I hear you. The James Meredith statue at Ole Miss being fake, that's an issue for that'd be an issue for me.
Right.
So
sure,
I get it. I get the real symbols. And statues always been a little sketch, as far as where they mean, even where Joe Paterno's statue at Penn State, when
that whole scandal.
that whole part of it, about the sex scandal there, and how those things are going. Those are people were kind of upset about that. Felt like that was an overreaction. Not sure what he knew, or people saying that he didn't know. How could he not know? Taking his statue down. Man, these monuments have a thing for us. Yeah. I just don't have an opinion. I don't have I more so because I've been more focused in more on the flag conversation. I think that is so symbolic. More so, it's a statewide image. It's a national image for us, for our state. And so I just think it's the bigger issue. And and I think that being accomplished, I really feel like that's something that moves the conversation forward, at least takes us off the ones that just nitpick at Mississippi all the time, you know?
Yeah, and that's true, because we have enough kind of negativity in a lot of areas about the state of Mississippi that I think gets brought up, you know, enough as it is.
It hits a lot. It hits a lot. And so there's not anybody that serves on the state or local office that doesn't talk about, you know, wanting to make sure that the image of what our state is, like wanting to produce what's positive, because there is a lot of positive that is here in our state. And, you know, I mean, I think there's going to be even more positive that comes out. I think there's some amazing things that are going to happen that are going to eliminate right here. There's some amazing minds that have started their life, gotten their education in Mississippi.
I like reminding people of some of the more famous people who have come from Mississippi, and they don't even have. They're like, "What?
Hey,
I had no idea."
You know, from the Blues Trail to
my word, yes.
You know, not just just music, but just some of the brilliant, other brilliant minds in other brilliant areas. Yeah. You know, it's so full. There's places where I was ignorant of just what was coming from Mississippi. So. You know, there's a broader, bigger, and even better story to tell. You know, there's several parts. There's several Forrest Proctor's in there. He commented. He said, "I'm for the original flag. I grew up with it. Always had black friends, and we never thought of it negatively. Funny, no one is talking about it until now." I'm not sure how true that is. I think people have always been talking about it. I think people are finally listening. It has been talked about, and if blacks didn't talk to you about it, it's that assimilation part of going, hey, we didn't want to lose friends over it. It wasn't. We knew, especially when you know that a conversation is going to go nowhere. You really don't have it. And so,
well, I don't want people thinking that like black people and white people haven't been able to like get along in the state of Mississippi because of the flag issue or whatever. Like I love, you know, telling people, whether it be my family back in Georgia or just other people, like some of the greatest, my deepest, closest friends are black people. You know? I love telling, and I think a lot of people are almost surprised at that. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, really? And I'm like, absolutely. You know? So, but again, it's probably just one of those things that was it taboo, you know, where you just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
And now that other events have happened, and like you've said, this is kind of part of a momentum wave. That more people are talking about it, and other people are taking notice. I
think we're finally able to ask the question. You know, I think there's somewhere you go, well, how do you feel about it? Well, actually, I'm glad you asked, because here, you know, and sometimes people respond like, really? I never even thought of that. And so, you know, it's the conversation. It's no different than any sort of relationship, marriage, otherwise. If you don't get an answer sometimes till you ask the question, because, you know, there's even in the closest relationship, you're kind of like, well, did you really want to know my opinion about it? Or did you want the wall painted red, and that's what you wanted, so we painted it red. You know,
I think so. You know? I agree.
So I think that's where this part comes in, where, you know, we can have the conversation. And so, you know, I think that's actually where we're finally, it's saying, well, what do y'all think? You know, what is it? You know, so.
And so I think I read today also that somebody was like, well, you can change the flag, but you're not going to change the person.
It's true. It's definitely true. You're not. You're not. You're definitely not. But you're definitely going to change the image of what we the people represents, as far as it being inclusive for the entire state, like what that looks like. You may not change the person that, you know, I think if you think of that statement, does it change something for the people that feel like the flag is exclusive, it does not include them? I think you do change something. I think you do change. I think it shows your legislator or legislators think of you and have heard you. And so, you do change something in a lot of people, actually. That feel like, okay.
There are clearly those that that will either take it into serious consideration. They'll kind of do like a mental check and kind of revisit this, and then there's that other side of people who are like, gee, my mind is set, and it really doesn't matter what you change the flag to.
It's not.
I'm gonna go stockpile on a bunch of them right now.
Right, it's going right, and we had in Mississippi kind of the last time I even, in the 10 years I've lived here, in the state, I still remember, I don't know, it was a couple of years, maybe it's 4 years ago, 3 years ago, where it was kind of some of this same talk about the state flag. And man, I remember we remember on 16th Avenue seeing the rebel runs, there were like 6 or 7 trucks that would come down and like go down 16th Avenue with the flag. And it was kind of like, hey, it's kind of like, that you're not going to change that. You're not going to change. People are going to still have them. They're going to still display them. They're going to have license plates, the front license plates with them. Those things are probably not going to change.
I remember when I was a kid in my room, so like my walls were covered in like either sports athlete posters or whatever, but I also had like, my dad's family is from right outside Atlanta, so we would go to Stone Mountain a lot and watch the laser show and all that. So I had this like plaque of the Confederate, I'll just call it Confederate flag for lack of better words, because I'm not exactly sure specifically what it is, but it had a picture of General Robert E. Lee in the middle. So I had it like on the wall, and then right next to it was a poster of Tiger and a poster of Michael Jordan.
So you had them all.
Had it all covered. And then, so I was like, hey, I got best of all the posters or plaques or whatever.
You were covering them all. They are Jeff Gwinnett. He just chimed in. He said, I don't see the benefits of keeping the old flag. I think even when we started talking about, some of this,
there was a benefit.
He said he did not see any benefit.
He did not see the benefit.
So I love that. When we start talking about the flag, or even some of these things, as far as like even our context of like how we started this conversation with talking about how we got to be gathering again in church. Like, so how does that look in this context, especially for us as Christian men? Like, how does that move forward for us in our daily thing? And some things, like I said on this show, didn't want to like repeat the Sunday message, but the Sundays we've been talking about, like, how do we continue to move this thing? How do we move forward? The church taking the lead in healing our nation. And so I think the big parts as we start talking is that, one, I think the revelation I had on this last Sunday is that, hey, the church can't be an agent of healing until the church is healed in this area. And walking out healing, there are some times where I need healing personally. There are some times where I need someone that I love and care about to be healed, and that brings healing to me. Yeah. And so when we start looking at this issues, we kind of get, this is going so fast. Hey,
it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
But as we talk about like moving this forward, how do we continue to do that? We say, number one, that the church, if it grieves the heart of God, it should grieve the heart of his children. And so is the divide that's in our nation, that's in our churches in some ways, like, is that troubling to God? I think we would all say yes. Yeah. And if it's troubling to God, then that puts it right in our lap. Yeah. Because there are other issues that we know God is troubled by, right? And so we've always like taken those on and say, that's right, we got to do our part. Well, here's the same one. And so first, when we said that, hey, the church has to take responsibility, we got to own the problem. That, hey, we're called to be the change agents. We're called to be the ministers of reconciliation. The Bible says he's given us the ministry and the message of reconciliation. So that was right. That first one. Then the second one is that we had to accept that we're called to reconcile people to God and to each other. Yeah. It wasn't just like the one part of it just being up and down, like we're called to reconcile people to God. We're also called to help people reconcile each other. We're supposed to be bridge builders. Yeah. And I think that's really key. And to be a bridge builder, when we talk about this third one that we started this Sunday, hey, you got to do the hard work of gaining understanding. Yeah. You got to educate yourself about someone that's outside of your in
and
group.
It's so easy for people not to do that.
It's work. It's work, and it's sometimes it's frustrating, because you're reading something, you're like, how do they even think that way? But but people think differently, and you're never going to grow. You're never going to do the hard work if you don't have a perspective that's different than yours, and at least can see. And the Bible says clearly, in all you're getting, get understanding.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't say get agreement.
Right.
It said get all you're getting, get understanding. At least understand. Hey, understand. Hey, I think it was so key. Like, we have to make sure that we take time to walk in people's shoes before we start making them wash feet. Mm-hmm. Like we love calling them to serve, like wash feet. But hey, what about walking in their sandals? What about, knowing what it's like to be in there? So I think as we continue to move this forward, working at taking the lead, I think this platform gives us an opportunity to continue to take the lead. We can discuss things, but we have to model what a conversation between two people that ultimately are going to value each other based on the gospel and our relationship with Christ, and still see that we are not the same person. Yeah. Still see that we like different things. See that, just because one person likes inferior college teams doesn't mean that I look down on you.
I pray for you.
And so
daily.
it doesn't happen that way. We both pray for Hagen. He doesn't know any better. We know those things. But the key is like, but in all those things, like we're understanding. Hey, we got to move this thing forward. Yeah. And the church has to do it.
I agree with that, because this is gonna sound really not shallow or elementary, but hey, how many flags do you think will be hanging up in heaven? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't imagine. I think
God,
the creator of all things beautiful, can come up with some. Wait, what is this? Right. What is this stuff out here? What is Hagen doing?
You have to take the keys away from him.
Got to move him out of the control room. But
when I look at things like that, and have compassion for people, and really, start looking at how Jesus, when he was on this earth, how he treated other people. Sure. And you mentioned a little bit of that with Jews and Samaritans at that time. It really changes my perspective on a lot. I mean, I could dive into some argumentative conversations, but A, there's no point to that. Yeah. And B, if I really approach it from a different mindset and think about, what would WWJD, you remember those? What would Jesus do?
Why did you go there, Brad?
Because I'm old, man.
Goodness. Okay, all right.
But you know what I mean. It's you look at things differently. So
Stephanie Brew, I love. She went Go Tigers.
Go Jesus.
Hey, Stephanie, I support the Missouri Tigers too. So I love you for that. And so love that. She said, how about Go Jesus? I love it.
There we go.
William Frazier, as we get ready, I thought William put something, we were talking about having the conversation in that part. And William had he said, the idea of the conversation over the flag and systematic racism is halted when you feel defeated before the conversation ever starts. So to avoid unnecessary argument, most people who oppose the flag just keep their concerns inside. And so I hear his perspective on that part. So I guess he's basically saying when you even have if you're starting a conversation, we're not going to really even have a conversation. Why even have it? Sure. And that's true when somebody does.
I understand that.
Stephanie put Jesus loved the unlovely. The Samaritan moment was rejected by everyone. That's so true, Stephanie. Just love that comment. As well. She's LSU. Stephanie.
She forgot a few letters.
Okay, I hear you. Okay.
CKF.
She got don't choose. Start, Brad. Well, listen again. It's been awesome just to be back and just talking about the things that we're continuing to talk about. Again, encouraging people to continue to pray for first our state. I guess first I'm going to say pray for our county as we continue to need not just COVID numbers to go down, but just the case of people getting ill and people that are in hospital. We need people in the hospitals being healed. And we do need this to be eradicated from our community, from our state, from our world. But definitely, if y'all just continue to pray for Jones, pray for our state. And then as we look at the ever-changing landscape of our nation, we definitely have to be people of prayer. During this season. So just encouraging freedom of speech is a very, 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 very valuable gift.
Absolutely.
The power to have an audience with a God who can change any and everything is even more valuable.
Yes.
And I encourage us to value them both and use them both with wisdom and as we continue to move this thing forward.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Hey, it's been great. Hey, guys, I want to remind you all that you can download our podcast, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and we're also, if you'd like to watch it, we got some videos on YouTube at the Brad&James podcast, so head on over there and check us out. So I guess hopefully we'll be back next Monday night at 6 p.m. doing this live. So
we got
come
other
on
things
back.
to do. You got other plans next Monday?
No, but I ain't the one that's always late.
Oh,
Hagen told me to say that. No,
Hagen's just on it. I know.
It was good.
Sorry, I was late for the pre-show.
It's okay.
Meeting.
It's okay.
We'll do better next week.
Watch, I'll be late next week. But anyways, I enjoyed it, man.
Hey, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Take care.